This lesson is all about making sure that the picture is sharp exactly where you want it to be sharp. And where you want it to be sharp is at the exact center of interest that you want your viewer to focus on within that image. We're going to show you how to do this automatically and manually. First, we'll talk about the automatic focus procedure. You choose the focus mode, choose the subject and angle, center on the point of interest, press the shutter button halfway so that you lock the focus on that point of interest, and then move your camera to reframe and compose the picture exactly the way you want, and push the shutter button the rest of the way so that the shutter clicks and you take the picture. Choosing the focus mode is generally a matter of seeing exactly the right thing on your settings monitor on the camera. It'll be one of these symbols or none of these symbols. If you don't see any of these symbols, you're in the mode that you should be in most of the time, so that you can focus on anything that happens to be within, say, a couple of feet from the camera to infinity. If you want to lock the camera into infinity mode, then push this little lily button that you'll find on the back of the camera, and you will see these symbols appear in the viewfinder one at a time, and one of those things that you push will give you no symbol at all. This will put you into macro mode so that you can focus on objects that are less than 2 feet from the camera. This will put you in portrait mode so that you can focus on objects that are about 2 or 3 feet from the camera, about the distance you'd use to capture somebody's face. And what it also does is open up the aperture all the way so that the background will be as out of focus as possible. And finally, this symbol means that you will lock the focus at infinity, so that if you're shooting a landscape or something, you make sure that the farthest objects away are the ones that are in the most sharp focus. You don't really need this too often unless you're shooting a panorama or something. Once you've chosen the focus mode, you want to choose the subject and angle. In this case, we're going to shoot an extreme close-up of a flower. Happens to be totally out of focus, so you'd put it in macro mode. And then you start to center the way you're going to compose the image, but you realize that it's going to be out of focus because this circle in the center of the image is several inches behind, or at least 1.5 inches, which in macro is very important, behind the actual thing that you want to focus on. So you want to center the camera on the point of interest, which happens to be this little pistil in the center of the flower. And then you want to press the shutter button halfway and hold it there, and it will keep that little pistil in exact focus while you move the camera to compose the shot. Then you want to reframe, compose, and click. And there's the picture that you would actually shoot, as long as you focused on this pistil correctly in the first place. So that's the procedure for focusing your camera in automatic mode.